Welcome to the ABC August meeting, ABC Business Network August meeting. We're here to talk about our businesses. We're here to hear from the lovely Barbara Edwards on reframing our mind. I should really bring up my script. I have a script here. Yes, as I say, this video is going to be, this meeting is going to be broadcast on YouTube so other people can see all about our businesses and see maybe if they can help us, maybe we can help them to help grow the business, grow our businesses, and hopefully even grow the network. I have a little question down here on the script that says, who else has a YouTube channel? I'm just curious, as you go through your elevator pitches, I'd love to know if you guys have a YouTube channel, whether you think it's worth it, whether you think it's not worth it. I do have a YouTube channel, and I'll come to that when it's my turn. We were going to have a little speaker from our nominated charity who we're donating £250 to. That was from the Loch Ness Search and Rescue, but the person gave us apologies. It's been a manic week. They've been involved in a round-the-clock recovery exercise in Antrim since Sunday evening, and they've also been supporting the fire service and dealing with the floods around the province. That and their kids are starting, so between all that there, I can imagine it's a busy time. Sure, maybe that's the reason for not having the top numbers we usually have, because it's everybody back to school week, and with COVID-19 there's all this staggered starting times and all the rest of it. So we look forward. He did say he will come back in a follow-up meeting. Really looking forward to hearing a bit more about the Loch Ness Search and Rescue. I know they do a fantastic job. I've already mentioned we're going to be hearing from lovely Barbara. Apologies from David McKeown, Fire Safety Solutions, NI, from Ross and Johnny Bloomfield from Sport to Perform, Health and Performance Coaching. Ross also pointed out, gave a nice thank you to Gary from Helios IT, who also is not here this morning, but he sorted their laptop issues out. So again, if you have any laptop issues, do check out Gary from Helios IT. And we got apologies from Graham Weir from the FSB as well, and from Jason Holmes, Lumen Financial Services. So again, giving a shout out to them. If you're a member of the group, you'll get a shout out. As well as access to a WhatsApp group, so you can get information throughout the month, and lots of other benefits, just being part of this lovely family that is the ABC Business Network. So please do consider joining us. And likewise, when I'm talking about the WhatsApp group, there's Steve Earley coming in here, there you go. When I'm talking about the WhatsApp group, please do share posts on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever that you're posting, and we will do our best to like, share, and comment on those posts. And likewise, do invite people along. I know there's some people who have been invited by other people this morning here. Do invite other people along. Really love to see lots of people here. It helps all our businesses, the more people that join in. So looking forward to seeing lots more people next week, next month. Sorry, we only run this meeting once a month, so it's not too much pressure on joining. So I really hope you enjoy this morning's meeting. Okay, with all that said, I think that's the end of my script. Was there anything else I wanted to say? The agenda will kick off with me chatting 1 minute from each person. Say 1 minute. We usually stretch on a bit more than 1 minute. If you look up the YouTube channel, you can see exactly how long people speak for, because I segment them out via the comments section. So in terms of that, if you put your name, your telephone number, your website address, stick it in a comment in the comment section in the chat box. I was in YouTube mode there, comment section below. Put it in the chat box, and I will transfer that onto the YouTube channel with a little time code so they can go straight to yourself if people are really interested in yourself. Barbara will then do her lovely talk. Really looking forward to that this morning. After that, we're going to do some breakout rooms if we have time left over. Hopefully, because I've now an expert on it, I've watched a YouTube video on how to create the breakout rooms. hopefully, if we have more than one set of breakout rooms, we're not thrown back into the same person as before. Not that anybody doesn't want to talk to the same person too long, but anyway. That's it. Okay, so who will we spotlight? By the way, again, in terms of the YouTube channel, make sure you go to the YouTube channel. It's ABC Business Network YouTube channel. Do check it out. Do like, do watch the videos, do add a comment. Give us your feedback on that. During the month, I interviewed Mavash, so she's going to be a nice in-depth review on YouTube channel, so you'll find out a good 20 minutes or so on Mavash's business, but we'll spotlight Mavash. Let's see, how do I, speaker view, spotlight. I'll get this right yet. I'm going to, and last month I actually cut somebody's video off. Spotlight video. There you go, Mavash, you've got the screen. Tell us about yourself.
So it's Mahvash Interiors from shores of Lough Neagh. All the, what do you call it, the hurricane or whatever hasn't affected us. So we are still here and we are doing very well. The business has been quite busy at the moment. Actually, we are doing a lot of call-outs, which is unusual after 6 months of sort of having a good distance with people. Now it's coming very, I'm very conscious and very careful on how to go and measure things, try not to be around with people whenever I go inside, but at the same time things are coming back. We're very busy. I specialize on window dressing, and I think what I try to do with homes is to actually turn their houses into quite comfortable homes, so people get in touch if they want to dress a window or if they want their room changed, their color scheme changed, their style changed. Yeah, so I don't say much more because I think it's an experience when people come and see what we have and they want to redo their homes. They get the gist of it. So
perfect.
Up to you now.
Super. It's probably too long of a catchphrase. The difference between a house and a home is Mavash Interiors, but it's a nice catchphrase anyway. Next we'll go to, well, who's going to spotlight a dramatic pause. He's going to be picked on next. It's Stephen.
Folks, Stephen McGarry is my name, from WPA, Western Province Association. We specialise in private health insurance, medical insurance for everybody, individuals, self-employed, families, corporate. Yes, uncertain times, but lockdown is easing. All the facilities are starting to open up again, so customers are actually getting seen, which is good. It's like anything else, it's done on a pro rata where the most emergencies are seen first, and anybody else that can wait will wait a period of time until they get through some of the backlog. But usually seen within sort of 5 to 10 working days, and can be sooner. Say Stephen McGarry from WPA, we specialise in private health insurance for everybody. Thank you.
Good stuff, Gary. Thanks very much. I know John has to leave early, so let's spotlight John. Tell us about your business.
Yes, all right, good to see you all again. Two things, good to get the update on where everybody else is seeing things. And Mavash, thanks for that in terms of interacting with people. Interesting month with the Eat Out to Help Out, getting out to see people. Do like to see the white of the eyes. It's great over the computer, but or over Zoom, but nothing beats, you know, a bump of an elbow, and so we may need to think about that in future about how to do it with the network. But this month, just pushing it on, getting in touch with the different agencies, Invest Northern Ireland, Intertrade Ireland, and some of the Leos. So if anybody has any particular contacts in any of them, I would appreciate if you can pass them on to me. Activity-wise, particularly end of July, start of August, as Margaret will testify, I'm not sure if she's on today, we did our long walk, Started in Lurgan and Coal Island and walked to Mayo. But because of COVID, we actually had a great, it was a sponsored walk, obviously, for Mary's Meals. Don't miss the opportunity for the plug. But we also, because of COVID, did a local walk along the Leg and Toe Path, Lisburn to Belfast. And it was a brilliant revelation for us. So COVID's a challenge to us all. It's definitely putting a lot of people under pressure, but there's some great stuff that's coming out of it as well. And I just was keen to know if anybody else, you know, happy to hear if anybody else's stories. I know I have to go at a 9:45, but there's some positive stuff coming out of it. And, you know, please do share that. Please keep us going with the positivity. That was something we were forced to do. It turned out to be brilliant. We had over 200 walkers across the whole of the north, compared with 70 last year and 20 the year before. So despite our challenge, it's growing. That was a new event for us. We will do more of them next year. We had 44 people alone in that Belfast-Lisburn area. We will do more of them. We've so far raised 24,000, which will feed it's somewhere in the range of 15 or 1,600 children for a whole year. And so great news. Thanks to Margaret for joining us and her friend. Next thing I want to do is get it into the Portadown newspapers and Armagh and Craigavon. I understand there might be a gentleman here associated with that. So Robbie might want to speak with you later on if you are listening, and do appreciate any support anybody can give us on marysmeals.org. Thanks, guys.
That's great to hear, and always nice to hear that the charities are getting the support, especially at this time when people don't know what happening next with COVID-19. It's good to see they're still being charitable. Who will have next? Who else? It was Robbie was saying he has the head shortly. So, Robbie, you got the spotlight. Oh, I have you on mute because you were chatting away about work. There you go. You're
sorry about that, folks. Good morning, all. Yes, as you all know, I'm Robbie Abraham, the voice of print in the business world. I believe that life is local, and people live local, shop local, and buy the local newspaper. So if you want to promote your business in any way, as has been mentioned, let me know and we'll get the word out on the street from Banbridge, Craigavon and Armagh. And I'd just like to reiterate there what Turan said at the start, folks. If they can share all the posts on Facebook and Twitter and whatnot, it gets our name out there and about, which is very important. Increase membership. So thanks very much indeed.
Super stuff, Robbie. Super. Who will go to next? Dramatic pause again, and we will spotlight Esther.
Morning, everyone. Esther Ocampo here, IPA Group, your one-stop shop for all things digital. So if you have website needs, SEO, graphic design, social media management, anything that you need to get you seen better online, come and talk to me. I also have a podcast, hence the mic. So always looking for great guests to come along and speak as well. And it's all about marketing. So whatever aspects you find challenging or that you like about marketing for your own business, you can come and talk to them on the podcast about it. You can find me at ipagroup.co or in Rathfriland. So
Good stuff. And a very good podcast indeed. A regular listener. Nice and easy listening. About 10 minutes, 15
10 minutes, yeah. That's
it. So highly recommend you check that out. Stuff. Who will we go next? Maike, let's spotlight yourself.
Hi, it's Maike here. I haven't been for a while. Just been not working, so I didn't see much point coming in. I'm getting excited there to get ready, perhaps to start opening the clinic in October. I'm providing pain relief and stress management mainly, but I have been working very hard at putting together a program of courses which I deliver via Zoom, and the next one I actually put on is called the ABC Wellbeing Program. So it's very apt for the ABC Council Business Network. It stands for aromatherapy for stress relief, which is the first session of the program. And then B for better sleep, and C for coping strategies for stressful times. So I've put the link in the sidebar there if anybody is interested. It's giving you some tools to live a little bit better and to reduce stress and to increase motivation perhaps. So I haven't been working very much in hands-on, obviously, or not at all, but I'm looking forward really to getting back into the business and really doing some more teaching, and then the hands-on from mid-October. I find this whole COVID time quite difficult really, and I have to say my garden has been really enabling me to keep sane, so thank goodness for gardening. And that's my positive side. I feel very much my garden has been helping me. So perhaps have a look at the course which I'm offering there, the ABC Wellness Program. It might be of interest to you, and it's good to see everybody back. I've missed you all. Okay, that's.
Thanks for that, and it's good to see yourself. And again, anybody that is or has been struggling or continues to struggle due to all this upset, please do continue to join the meeting. You might be able to help someone else, or we might find a way of helping yourself if you are struggling. And it's the same as Robbie said when I said at the beginning, you know, stick a few social media posts out just to show that you're still there and still about, and we will share for you and get the promotion out there. So again, that's one of the things I'm keen to make sure people get visibility as well. Right, dramatic pause. Who's next? Marc, spotlight.
Just take myself off mute there. Hi everybody, Marc Fegan, Bespoke estate agent. I'm dealing with all property sales and rentals in the ABC Council area and also as far as Belfast. So I suppose once the market opened there back at the end of June, things went a little bit crazy for a couple of months. There was a lot of pent up demand, people wanting to list houses, people wanting to buy houses, and certainly that time over the last 2 months was great, especially as a new business. You know, you've seen a lot of new properties coming to market and they were turning over very quickly, they were getting sale agreed very quickly. Mortgage companies are still lending out there, albeit slightly stricter criteria, slightly higher deposit levels, stuff like that, but the confidence is generally good and we don't see a major drop in prices coming off the back of COVID. Obviously the unemployment will tell a different story come the end of the year, but I think the prices are still at a reasonable level, so we should be safe enough that way. Over the last 4 weeks, my stock list has kind of gone. It's a good thing, we've sold, sale agreed, so I'm kind of down to, you know, maybe 5 or 6 properties that are currently on the market, and the rest are now sale agreed, which is again a fantastic complaint to have. But over the last week or two, we have started to notice, let's say, a bit of a return to normality in terms of the amount of activity out there in the market. It wasn't what it has been over the first kind of 2 months of coming out of lockdown period, over the market being closed. So could really do with any friends, family recommendations, anybody you think or know of selling or renting their home, send them my way. I'll always look after them if I mention your name. And just a quick shout out. I know Una and Raymond aren't here, but Mahvash is here. I had Mahvash and Una into a property in Lurgan about 2 weeks ago. So Mahvash done the staging of the property and Raymond and Una came behind to do the photography of the property. So the client was absolutely over the moon with Mahvash's work and her attention to detail. She was brimming. She was absolutely loving it. She thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. So well done on that, Mahvash. Hopefully there's a lot more of that to come. People taking that slightly higher package to get their home staged for the right photography.
Perfect. Perfect. I mean, that's exactly what I want to hear from anyone else. Like I said, I mentioned Roz, who can't be with us today, or Gary, who can't be with us, but Roz was thanking Gary for his work with helping her with a laptop. you've plugged both Una and Mavash. That's great, and this is what networking is all about, to help each other. So if anybody else has any other stories, please do share them. Next, Alan. How's
Morning,
life?
folks. How are you? Can you hear me okay? Yes.
You can hear you. Yep.
Good. It's been very busy this last while with the wasps still going daft in some cases. The nests at this stage in the year, the average nest will have maybe 10,000 wasps active in it in a big nest. So that's kept us busy. All sorts of other insects, we're getting calls. People tend to head home for the weekend and maybe forget to empty the bins in the office and wonder on a Monday when they come in why there are flies about. So that tends to be something you advise people, clean the bins, and that will sort you out. So it has been busy. Anybody has any issues they need a bit of advice or help on, by all means get in touch, and we will certainly help with anything to do with pest control, or again perhaps hygiene advice as well. That's us, and our email and phone numbers are on the sidebar. Great to see Eve and Maike as well. Good to see everybody back, to see the faces. So that's me. Thanks, folks.
Super, Alan. Thanks very much for that, and thanks for the tips. It's simple but obvious. We forget these tips and then wonder why there's flies all about. And I think we were talking last month, or maybe it was in the private committee meeting, was it? Where we were talking about the number of flies around this weather. Who have we got next? Well, you said Eve, so let's chat with Eve. How's it going? It's been a while.
Really good to be back. I didn't renew my membership this year because we were doing so many meetings in Lurgan and Craigavon, and unfortunately that's a little far in terms of my Carlingford catchment. But now that everything is online, something I had been preparing for coincidentally in 2019, it's a very different world. I'm very excited. COVID and lockdown has been kind to me because I had been doing the preparation to move my business online, and in fact, to move myself part-time back to the States. I have 2 new grandchildren and 1 on the way. So the groups that I'm offering online are the ones you all have heard me speak about before. They're 12-week groups based on a series of books called The Artist's Way. And I was delighted to have Maike join me in my kind of beta testing group, which was great. And I need to say that if you are struggling with lockdown, there was a lot to be said for a weekly meeting with a core group of people who become literally your family of choice. You know, we act as each other's believing mirrors. When you have a good week, we're excited for you, and when you have a bad week, we reflect back what you looked like during your good week. And for people who aren't ready to take on a deep dive into 12 weeks of a kind of archaeology, you know, where have I been, where am I going? I'm doing a kind of lighter version of a course called a memoir. And over 12 weeks, we're going to scrapbook, photo album, write stories, however you want to go back and look at each, say, 5-year increment of your life and leave a story. I'm acutely aware now with grandchildren that they will always know me as an old woman. And I would really like them to know and understand the stories about what it was like when I went away to college, what it was like when their mothers were born, what our road trips were like. So I'm inviting people to join me to tell themselves their stories and have fun just being creative, drawing pictures, creating albums, whatever. So I'm delighted to be back, and whatever empowering change, whatever we can do to help, let us know.
Perfect. And again, I've been in one of your workshops before, down in that lovely location, beautiful part of the country. So highly recommend yourself as well, Eve.
Thank you.
Who have we got next? Who have I not turned to yet? Adrienne, let's hear about how swimming things are going for you.
Go. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Swimming hasn't really been going at all. I haven't been teaching from March, which I can't believe, for 6 months. But I specialise in eliminating the fear of adults the first lesson and get them swimming naturally the first hour on their own. Kiddies, I teach them in 10 weeks. So a couple of 10-week courses, sort of in a school year, they're competent and sort of ready for a swimming club, if that's what they want. But I have another business. I was going to say, if anyone knows anyone's getting married, I'm looking at the honeymoon industry, because a lot of the weddings have been pushed back to next year, so they have time to learn to swim and enjoy the honeymoon better than, you know, if they go the beach holiday and they're terrified. The other business I have is in the wellness industry, and we actually have a big conference this weekend, which again it's on Zoom, which is handy. No flights, no delays, no hotels. So if anybody knows, especially anyone who has had COVID and is not recovering quickly, we have a couple of great stories of people getting their energy back after the after effects of the COVID. But also we help people set up their own business. So anyone who has looking for work, there's so many people paid off. DW's closed. To Fleur Place closed there recently over the last few weeks, and I think the next couple of months will be the same. So we help people work from home. There's no overheads, and they can start straight away. Training's all free. So as I say, if you know anyone who's struggling to, you know, has been paid off and doesn't have a job at the minute, please do get in touch. Thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks very much for that. Let's see who we'll move to next. Who's left? We've got Julia. Julie, she tried to get in last week. I don't know, last month. Apologies for whatever technical reasons we didn't get you in here, but you're here now. So
I'm here, yes.
Tell us all about your stuff.
Can everybody hear me okay? I'm just conscious that the weather's a bit determined on my internet. Good morning, everyone. My name is Julie Lilley, and my company is called White Space Design Consultancy. We are, excuse me, design-led suppliers for commercial furniture and industrial storage. Sectors where you'd find our work would span between healthcare. We do a lot of work with the NHS. Going through COVID-19 was quite nice actually to help out the staff with the likes of furniture for canteen areas and like I said, storage. We also do some work across hospitality sectors, the likes of restaurants and hotels, and also into education, so universities and colleges, we help out there too. But really what we really specialise in would be office space, and that spans from small office spaces where you've maybe got a team of 10 through to large office spaces like the likes of PwC have just opened up the Merchant Square office space in Belfast. So some people don't really like the Zoom meeting setup. Personally, I do, because at the moment it's great. I've been on a couple of networking calls where I'm kind of looking around and seeing how people are set up, because pre-COVID we were really spent a lot of time with office spaces talking about collaborative spaces and how we can get communal areas for staff. And then COVID landed, and now we're kind of taking a step back and moving away from that. So we're now focusing really on home office setups. We've got a large number of clients where staff members are not returning to offices until 2021. So our focus at the moment is working with facility managers to support employees having the appropriate equipment to work from home, because it's okay sitting at a kitchen table with a hard seat. The long run of that being for your own well-being is, you know, you don't want to end up with spinal issues or problems. So that's our focus at the moment. So yes, that's Julie Lilley, White Space Design Consultancy.
Good stuff. And have you got your details in the chat box?
I'll pop them in now, yeah.
Pop them in now. I'll make sure, like I say, when you go on YouTube, that all those details go next to your name. And just again, you're all of Northern Ireland or beyond, or what's
yes, we're based in Belfast. I'm originally from Banbridge myself, but we're based up in the Harbour Estate, and we cover Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland and the UK.
Super stuff. Super stuff. Thanks for that, and very, very nice to have you here. And I think it's finally, did anybody else say? And Barbara, I'm going to come back to you so you can do your talk and then go on to your picture, or vice versa. And we have James this morning, so I'll spotlight you. James, I'm excited to find out what Fantastic Fanatics is all about. That big brand, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks everyone for having me along. Yeah, so I'm James Patterson. I'm business development for Fantastic Fanatics, a company based in Aberdeen in Scotland. We basically, the long and short of it is that we're a fundraising platform for sports clubs. Basically, clubs can sign up to the platform free of charge and become a beneficiary. They then set up their own sort of fundraising army with their own fans. And when their fans spend through any of our retail partners, whenever they make a transaction via the Fantastic Fanatics website, a percentage of their transaction is donated back to their chosen sports club. At the moment, obviously, during the COVID-19, sport and retail alike are suffering. So one of the sort of USPs about us is that we also offer in-store partnerships with retailers who maybe don't have an online presence or do have online and in-store presence, using card linking technology. So when one of our fans goes into a restaurant or a hairdresser's or a butcher's or whatever the case may be and makes a transaction, the same thing happens. A percentage of that transaction is donated back to their sports club. From the retailer's aspect, for a retailer to partner up with the platform, again, it's absolutely free of charge. It's kind of like a reverse marketing strategy for them. As John had mentioned earlier, the sort of Eat Out to Help Out scheme that's being run by the government just now, it kind of works much in the same way, in that it's a tool to help drive footfall to retailers, to try and reinvigorate the high street after you know, the sort of restrictions begin to lift. So it's a really, really positive tool for retailers to be able to tap into as well. The only time it ever costs a retailer anything is when somebody actually comes in and spends with them. So there's no upfront cost in terms of marketing or you know, advertising or anything like that. Although they do get those benefits as well by partnering with us. So I guess that's it in a nutshell. I'm really looking to speak to companies in Northern Ireland. It's been a bit of a hot spot for us recently. We've recently partnered with Netball Northern Ireland, the Irish FA and the Irish FA Foundation. Ulster Hockey just joined us the other day. We're in advanced talks with NIFL and the Belfast Giants and GAA, and we also have we're sponsoring the sports bulletin of U105 as well. So we've got a lot going on, and we're just looking to sort of bolster things up with the retailer offering as well, and hopefully it'll help the high streets in Northern Ireland become a wee bit revitalised. And in terms of the YouTube channel, we do have our own YouTube channel as well, although it's not a YouTube channel where people go on a daily basis for content. It's more for, we use it as kind of a tool for ease of use for sharing informative videos to clubs and retailers alike. So that's kind of where we are, and if anybody has any contacts that they can maybe introduce me to or would like to find out a wee bit more, I'm more than happy to have a you know, further chat at a later time.
Perfect. And a well-named company, because it does sound fantastic.
Thanks very much.
It sounds like a good idea. And again, I'm glad someone was listening when I asked who has a YouTube channel, and James managed to get in there, you know, because I had written on a post-it, should I ask, because I came in this morning, I usually do have a nice, clean, tidy desk, but it was a bit messy this morning, and I thought I'll ask everyone to say whether they like clean desks or messy desks. That one might come up next month, because I didn't ask that. I asked about the YouTube channels, but at least James said he had a YouTube channel. Good stuff. Right, I was about to say last but not least, but I haven't spoke yet. So I'm gonna flip to my background. Feel Good Hypnosis, that's myself. Turan Mirza. I'm a hypnotist. I help people change mindset. I'm going to mute.
No, it's okay. There's two different ads. He's
going to mute Robbie, who's talking business again. Anyway, where was I? Yes, Feel Good Hypnosis. Hypnosis is my game, and I help people change their minds with everything from teeth grinding to sexual dysfunction to bedwetting for kids, nail biting for kids. Recently, I've been working with, at the start of COVID, I was working with a lot of people just anxious about COVID-19. Now I'm working with a lot of people and I put out a video there recently on my YouTube channel about just leaving the safety of their home now. People are now getting anxious about going back out again, starting back to work. So if you know anyone that has those sort of anxieties, the problem in life with these anxieties is that they're not conscious. If it was a conscious problem, you would think logically about it and say, well, I can think this through, I can work it out and know what to do. But turn off my WhatsApp there.
Turan, highlight yourself.
I know. There you go.
Highlight yourself. There we go.
Trying to snitch. The pressures of being a chairman. So yes, if you know anyone that's having a hard time over COVID-19 or any issues in life, that and again, a lot of people come to me after seeing counselling or seeing psychotherapy or whatever. The problem with those issues, those types of therapy, are they're very cognitive by their very nature, and the issue is at a deep unconscious level, and that's where hypnosis helps to resolve those issues. And the nice thing about hypnosis, as well as that, is that you're not talking in depth about the issue, because hypnosis is about you resolving your own issues. It's just a tool for you to connect with yourself and help yourself find the resolution to the problems. So with all that said, that's me off the spotlight. Change back to my chairman logos, and we will now spotlight the wonderful, the entertaining. I mean, I'll let you do spotlight yourself, Barbara. Spotlight Barbara. There's so much she does. I don't know where to start, between Well Expo, between Be Coached, between everything else. I don't know where to start. So Barbara, tell us all about yourself, and then give us your talk. Look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks, Turan. You're very good. Yeah, hi everybody. You can tell by the accent, I'm not local to any of you. I live here in Donegal, but I'm originally from Dublin. So I have to say, love the presentations, fantastic fanatics. When you said you had the FA and the GAA on board, I thought to myself, you're on a roll, you're grand. Yeah, it's a brilliant idea, because when you were chatting, I was thinking of the local GAA clubs even here, because they are, like all sports clubs, they're going through a hard time and trying to keep everything going. But yeah, so great presentations this morning. Mine today is, I'm a coach. I wasn't always a coach. I specialize at the moment in menopause wellness and business coach. And today I actually even prepared slides. I'm not known for slides because I usually just talk straight off the cuff, but I figured it might actually help with the focus, because we're actually going to talk today about reframing your thinking. So I'm just going to share my screen here with you now. There, and hopefully everybody can see that there.
That's good. See it? Yeah.
Brilliant. So that's me, Be Coached. Taking out one of my in-ears here. And the chances are, oh dear, I went to the very last slide. Hang on, one tick. There's always, there we go. And
you're just making me feel at home for all my technical issues.
No, do you know what? And I don't know why this is happening, because I said I'm going to leave that ready. So what I'll do is I'll just work it hopefully from here, and I'll just use the slides there as they are. For some reason, I am just not, is it?
Take your time, take a few more.
There we go. Now, yeah, I don't know why it was clicking on the very last slide, but sure, there we go. We can go back up here.
Brian, hello.
And so if we are reframing your thinking, it's an odd one. See what I mean? It's going back again. When we do something, we don't kind of think twice about it, how we react, what we say. And I know, Turan, this is something, you would come up in, as you say, in hypnosis, you're going deep within to the psyche and thinking. And, CBT and NLP all come into coaching. So that's the cognitive behavioral therapy and the neuro-linguistic programming. So, you know, there are elements within coaching that we would use, and there are various tools to help us work with clients. So I just thought today, because, you know, well, like I'm only touching the surface. So what I'm looking at is what is meant by framing. Why would you reframe? What kind of things would cause you to even think of reframing? And then actually give you my own story. I didn't realize I was reframing, but it's actually what I was doing at the time. So even if you look at that picture, kind of what do you see, and you take your instant, and the pictures like these are used to say, you know, they'll say, oh, well, if you see the man first or you see the lady first, well, you're this way or you're that way. So in a sense, that is a picture in a frame. And if you think of a picture on the wall and you're kind of going, gosh, I'm not mad on that picture, I'm not really sure about it, and then all of a sudden you change the frame around it, you kind of go, oh, it's a whole new lease of life. And you kind of see it in a different way. So doing that with your thoughts and how you think and situations that you are in, that's actually what you're doing. You're putting a new frame on it. You're throwing it, you're looking at it in a new light. And there's lots of reasons that you might do this. So what is framing? Framing is where we place our experiences to give them meaning. So if something happens, you'll not only just think of the situation, but there's the feelings, the thoughts, the emotions, the physicality maybe of what happened. So that when you look back on it or you think about it, all of that actually becomes part of what it is you were doing at the time. You know, it's kind of like, you know, where were you when X happened? And you can actually think of everything around that. Like I remember when I was ironing, when Lady Di died all those years ago, but I can still see myself and the sensation I had and my child on the floor at the time. And so that was how that experience, you know, how I framed it, what I was doing at that time in that situation. And my example there, which if the slide was upright would have slid in nicely. If you're walking down the street and you see someone and you wave to get their attention or whatever, and they just walk on by, what's actually your first reaction? Just be honest with yourself and just think, like, what would your first reaction be? What would you do? Okay, so just think about that for a second. So what is reframing then? So if framing is placing it in the situation with our thoughts and our emotions and giving it that meaning there and then what is reframing? Well, it's changing the meaning of that experience or event or situation by looking at it differently. Okay? So what was your first thought in that exercise that we just had there? When I asked you, what would you think? Now, the first thing that you might think is, oh, they ignored me. I'm trying to get their attention, you know. And you take that line of thought, and then you're walking away and you get into the car and you're going, they ignored me. I tell you, it'll be the last time they ignore me, because I won't be. And you go down this hole of, you know, they did this, they did that, they chose not to see me, and all that negativity that ensues with that. Or you might think, they didn't see me, sure, the next time I see them, you know, they must have been deep in thought. Now, it's a situation. They may not have seen you. They may absolutely have been deep in thought and been so focused on doing or thinking what the other part, what they were thinking. They couldn't see you. It just wasn't in their head at that time to see anybody. But the difference being that if you go away, if you look at it just the one way, you either have the choice of looking at it completely in the negative. And when you look at it the first way of, they ignored me, then you start thinking, well, that starts actually a whole different set of reactions, because that kind of can eat away at you. And the next time you see that person, what's going to happen is that moment of you walking down the street and them not seeing you is going to be on the back of your mind. And then you're going to be thinking, well, I'm not even going to bother going over to talk to them. And you have decided that this is actually what that situation is all about. Whereas if you reframe it and think, well, actually, maybe they were just so deep in thought and they didn't see me, I'll get them the next time. It means that when you do encounter that person the next time, you can just go over and say, gosh, I saw you that day, you were so deep in thought, and you wouldn't even think twice. So something simple like that, it's just a very everyday example. But it's also important when it comes to work, when something happens within business, when a situation arises with the team, with a team leader, you know, with a supervisor, within management, with actually any employees. When something goes wrong is to actually try and step outside the box, look at it as an observer and see if you can put a different light on it. And this is why we do it, because you can actually derive a whole new interpretation around the set of circumstances. You can come up with a different conclusion. You can evaluate it in just a completely different light. And not only that, but when you look back on the situation, even then, you're generating a whole new set of feelings and emotions around that event. So, as an example, if you're working flat out, you have a cold and it starts to, you kind of say, oh, I haven't got time for this cold. You know, I'll just plow on and I'll do, and you've tried everything and paracetamol won't work or whatnot, and it's just, but it's getting worse and it's getting worse and it's getting worse. Eventually the doctor says to you, that's it, time out, you need bed rest, you know. What are you going to do? Are you going to be, oh my God, I have this, that, the other, an X, Y, Z to do. I have this report to do. I have a meeting here and I have a meeting there. Your blood pressure rises. The heart is pumping. Panic ensues. The anxiety and the stress levels shoot up. But yet the other way of looking at that is you could actually think to yourself, do you know what? My body is actually telling me something. I just need to go home, because the world will actually still turn, even though I'm in my bed and there's work to be done. And I will tell my boss, X will be done by such a time. I will meet such and such a person, like I'm due to meet them. And your emotions that come around that are completely different to the first thought. So being able to look at a situation in two ways gives you a different set of feelings and emotions, brings you around with a different conclusion. And it's not that either one is right or wrong, but what it does is it gives you a better insight into what a situation could possibly be and the outcomes that you could actually derive from it. So when my world fell apart, so I wasn't always a coach. And about just a few years back, or should I say up to a few years back, I was a music teacher, a pianist, piano teacher, singing teacher, choral director, church organist, delivered music workshops to youth groups, schools, kindergartens. So I worked, you know, adult community groups, everything. I load the car with all my instruments, the cello, keyboard, the drums, you name it, a full carload of instruments. And that was what I did. And absolutely loved it. You know, I've been a musician since I was 5. So all of a sudden then, I was out one evening and I fell. And I broke both my arms, resulting in surgery and getting pins in one of them. Now, obviously for a pianist, breaking your arms is not an ideal situation. And I ended up in bed, 2 broken arms, thinking, that's it, done. I'll never work again. I'll never play the piano again. I'll never teach again, and everything. I mean, for me, my whole career was over. And it took a few weeks, And I could feel myself on that train of thought. And as I was going through that train of thought, I was going down. I know, yeah, obviously you're slipping mentally and you're going down and you're going down and you're going down. And I kind of went, no, I can't keep feeling like this. You know, there's the everyday stuff, like I still have kids, you know, and things like that. And then it dawned on me. And I went, hang on a second. I know I was teaching this and I was doing the workshops and I was doing, but what was I really doing? And then I realized it was more than just the physicality of the teaching of the music. It was everything I was doing behind that that was impacting on students and anyone that I worked with. I was educating, I was motivating, I was inspiring, I was giving them confidence. You know, when I would have seen somebody say, oh God, yeah, I can do that. And that was my reframe moment. That was when it absolutely hit me. It was more than just the physicality of what I was doing. It was everything that I brought to the table to do that. And then my thinking started to change. So I have this whole skill set. What can I do with it? Now this would be something that, you know, when somebody's coming, say, for career coaching, this would be the kind of thing that we go through, you know, and even within just their career to make their business flourish, what skill set they bring to the table. You know, somebody will say, well, I want to do this, but I don't think I can. And you dig deep. And when I say you, as a coach, I would dig deep then to see what is that skill set. So by doing all of that, as soon as I was able, then it took a long time before I could even press a key on a keyboard. So for anybody that's had surgery on their hands or their arms, they would understand it's a long time. But I spent then all the months then researching, what can I do with the skill set I have? And here I am talking to you now as Barbara from Be Coached. Because what it did was, when I reframed, I got a whole new interpretation. It was a positive change. It wasn't the negative world-ending end of me that I first had, which I was entitled to as well, by the way, you know, to feel sorry for myself. I mean, I was completely useless, immobile. I had to be fed and cared for, you know, but it was a positive change. My conclusion was I had a massive set of transferable skills, because I had also worked as a fitness instructor and I had people within the fitness industry and that would have come to me for motivation and for their weight management and all of those kind of things. I had all that to come to the table, which led me to evaluate the whole thing, reevaluate my situation, and I realized, you know what, this could be a completely new beginning. So by reframing, what you can do is you can actually put a whole new light on what it is, a positive light on what it is that you want to do or you want to get out from a situation. And it can be that big light bulb moment, which is what it was for me, because my feelings and my emotions changed and I became more positive in what I wanted to do. I didn't mind that I had to go back and study again, because I knew the end result was going to be a much happier me, because I had this skill set. Plus, the positive was I wasn't each day going to have to load a whole load of instruments in and out of the car every single day. So that's what reframing does. That is my short presentation, which I hope you enjoyed. And for anybody who wants any help on where do I go now, what do I do, what it is, please drop me a line. You can get me on info@becoached, on my website, which again is a collaboration here within the network. Esther, they're an IPA group. It looks fab, and it is up, becoached.ie. Still putting some finishing bits and pieces to it, but I absolutely love it. So that's a collaboration here from within ABC. So anybody do get in touch. Would absolutely love to hear from you.
That is fantastic. Thanks very much for that, Barbara. Has anyone any questions at all that would like to fire at Barbara? Anyone? Let me see, put it on wider view so we can see if anybody has a hands up. Any questions? No. Mahvash, fire away.
Do you still play, Barbara?
Do I still play, Mavash, is it? Yeah, actually I do. It took me about 2 years to fully get back into, as you know, like when you're playing the piano, when you're doing your span, I'd have a just slightly trickier, but yes, I do play, and I could sit and play for 2-3 hours without even thinking of it. Slight bit of nerve damage, but I was very, very lucky that I can actually sit back at the piano and play. Yeah.
And again, it's great to have that personal anecdote about, you know, to back up the talk on reframing. So
I think that's the thing, because when I was picking the topic, and it's reframing your thinking came to me actually because of everything that everybody has been going through, to start looking at what is it I have just gone through over the past few months. You know, what is it that I could learn about myself? Have I learned anything more about myself? And I always think that if, as a coach, to have gone through it personally, it brings more to the client, because there is so much more relatable connection made between coach and client, when the coach can actually say, do you know what? Absolutely, I have been there. I know exactly what you're going through. And a client then does not feel that they are, you know, on their own. And there's nothing worse than having that feeling of being completely alone in your thoughts and not knowing what to do or where to go. So when you can relate to that, it makes all the difference.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, I have to say, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but I help people stop smoking, and I've never smoked. I help people reduce alcohol levels and or overcome becoming an alcoholic, and I've never drunk in my life.
I think
it does help.
Yeah, you see, in hypnosis, because you go so much deeper, and there's more, you would have obviously a much broader range of tools and whatnot that you would use than I do. Whereas a lot of mine is kind of two-way talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, absolutely, I can understand why, even as a non-smoker, you can help somebody stop smoking within what hypnosis is and what hypnosis does. But I suppose coaching is a conversation.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's very little of me. I might ask in a whole hour, I might only drop in 4 questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's it. It's all about listening as well, isn't it? It's all about listening. Good stuff. Well, thanks very much for that there. I mean, again, working with confidence, I work with people with confidence as well. And it's what we call, it was one of my trainers has the technical term DRT. Have you ever heard of a DRT? Mm-hmm. It's called a dirty, rotten trick. and basically, when somebody comes in with a lack of confidence, I say, are you sure that's what you want to work on today? And they say, yes. I said, are you really sure? And they say, yes. Are you confident? And they go, yes. I said, that's you fixed. It's called a dirty, rotten trick. So feel free to steal that one if you don't already do it. When somebody comes in with lack of confidence, say, are you really confident? Yes, that's what I want to fix. Okay, well, you're fixed then because you're confident now. Anyway, right, let's get some one-to-ones if I can figure out how to do it this month. I'm going to go for breakout rooms, and I'm actually going to go for, okay, so there's 10 people plus myself. I'll stand back as the host. I'm going to go for manual because I've actually prepped who's going to go with who. So let's breakout room 1. I'm going to go with those 2. Breakout room number 2. I'm going to go with those 2. It's my fault. It's my fault if you get in the room with somebody you don't like. Say no more. Nobody ever admit it, will they? Hopefully not. There you go. Making life easy. And oh, did we lose someone there? Oh, we did lose someone there, so I'll nip in with that last one. Okay, and open all rooms. So you've got, did I set the time yet? 5 minutes to have a little chat, find out about each other's business, find out how you can help each other, or just have a chat, whatever you want to do, but enjoy your time together. And you should see a little prompt. That's it. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. And I'm going to set up more breakout rooms. Recreate.
I'm going to have to shoot off, guys. I've got another meeting at 1:30 that I need to go and get ready for. Apologies, I was hoping that would be sort of finished before that, but I hate leaving networking stuff early, so apologies. Really nice to meet you all, and hopefully I can connect with you guys on LinkedIn and maybe arrange a wee chat at a later date just to find out a bit more about what you guys all do.
Perfect. Did you put your stuff, your information, your contact details?
Yeah, info's in the message section.
Grand stuff. So that'll allow anybody looking at the YouTube video later on to get the information up. It'll take me a few days to get that up on YouTube. Don't be looking too quickly, but it'll be up there. And thanks very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much, everyone. It's great to meet you all.
Thank you too. Bye.
I just shoot as well here. Right, Cash. I'm have another thing on at 10:30, so I'll see you all later, folks.
Bye.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Stephen.
Recreate all rooms. Manual, switching another pop. And we're back in the room, as us hypnotists would say.
Oh, Turan.
Yeah. These are the jokes, better laugh now.
They don't get any better.
Guys, I think that we'll call it a day there. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you made some new connections or some new ideas for connections. And thanks very much for coming.